Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today we're discussing Deep Space Nine, Season 3, Episode 4, Equilibrium. Dax has visions of a previously hidden host of the Dax symbiont, and as a result, the DS9 crew get mixed up in a conspiracy on the Trill homeworld.
What did you think?
Mixed feelings on this one.
Were they mixed well, or were they mixed as if Odo were stirring them?
Yeah, the latter. I like the idea of Dax having a secret host who's a murderer.
After you gave that summary, I thought, that sounds really good.
Yeah, I think the way this episode played out was not very good. In that it was boring and lacked any kind of punch.
Which is too bad, because the premise is really good.
Yeah, the premise is great. And this could have been an opportunity for Dax to really start doing some crazy stuff. But yet again, it's a Dax episode where Dax spends most of the time unconscious or out of action.
That's so weird that they keep doing that.
I don't know why. She's a good actor. She's a great character. And yeah, it's weird.
I don't know if they are embarrassed of the character. No, that can't be it. Maybe they just think it's more interesting if things are happening and the crew is aware of it, but she's not. I mean, that is an angle to take, but you don't always have to take that angle.
Well, I think it's because they often have her holding secrets, which, of course, because she's so old, she'd have loads of secrets, and then she has to be really stoic. Or they try and make it serious by having something happen to the symbiont, which puts her out of action as well.
And if she's out of commission, then she can't guide them in any way, and then they can stumble along into a solution.
Yeah. This is not a good way to make Dax episodes, though. Like, for example, if every, I don't know, Bashir specific episode, he was just unconscious.
And it was some dire medical situation?
Or not even that, just, well, maybe, but it's not developing a character if that character doesn't do anything. I mean, it kind of is. You're learning about them, but they're not revealing themselves. It's about as revealing as reading a wiki page on the character, which is essentially what Sisko and Bashir do at the end.
So, it sounds like you probably have some criticisms?
One or two. But before I start picking apart anal parts of the episode, I would like to compliment the dream sequences, hallucination sequences. I know we've mentioned in the past that these are often rubbish. But
yeah.
I felt the ones here were really good.
Yeah, they were warranted here because it's weird to think about how old memories would work if you had 7 lives. And they are memories that aren't from your hosting of the symbiont, so I would think it would be hard to distinguish memories and dreams if they're not necessarily yours, even if you inherit them. It's just a cool idea, but they didn't capitalize on it. But the dreams were unsettling, and they were done well.
And the stuff with the masks, the guy pulling off masks, it was nice and creepy. And the weird change in lighting and how it flowed into the actual action, like she steps from one place to another and it starts quite suddenly. That it was tense and interesting enough. So
I like that stuff. that seamless transition. She would round a corner and then suddenly the lighting would change.
Considering how often these sort of sequences are just terrible, it was nice to see them done in a way which actually complemented the storyline.
Yeah.
It's just a pity that the storyline was not worth complimenting.
You don't like the reveal that symbionts are arbitrarily restricted?
No, because it makes no sense.
Yeah, there's that.
It's hard to describe how little sense the entire Trill planet makes. Okay, for example, how did they figure out this whole symbiosis thing?
Some mad scientist cut himself open and inserted this alien thing into his body.
That's what I thought. But then I realized the first symbiont that gets placed into you has surely very little or no effect. It's only when that's taken out of the person and then put into another body. So what manner of human experimentation were they doing, or Trill experimentation, to work this out?
So there was this mad scientist Trill, and then he had a mad scientist son, and he cut both of them open at separate times.
Yeah. But then would you really trust someone who said, guys, guess what? My dad put a worm surgically into his belly, then he died, and I took it out of his dead body and put it into my body, and now I have his memories. It's not.
You guys have to try this.
It's not credible. People would say, well, you're clearly insane, and so was your father.
Trust me.
And then I was thinking about Trills that get joined, but it's the first instance of the symbiote.
Oh yeah, if you get a fresh one, that's no fun.
Go through all the pressure of passing the Institute's really strict exams, and they give you a symbiont, and it's just the first time the symbiont's been joined. So you go home, your parents are like, oh, what's it like? Have you got all these memories, all this knowledge and confidence? And you're just sort of like, yeah, it's not all that, really.
I'm just me.
Just me with a parasite.
Yeah. I kept hoping for some sort of religious explanation for why they would do this and why they would restrict it, because it's just a nonsense tradition.
Yeah, I don't see how this situation would even arise, other than if the Symbiosis Institute were the ones who originally figured out that people could be joined. That's the only way it could possibly make a shred of sense to me.
Okay, how about this? Someone had a gaping wound, and then
Okay.
hear me out. And then, while no one was looking, a symbiont creeped in there. But it would still be a fresh one.
Yeah. Then later in their life, whatever accident caused the gaping wound happens again, but this time it kills them. But their friend gets the same wound, and the symbiont crawls from their dead body into their... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, do we know whether or not the symbionts can transfer memories between themselves?
It seemed like they could in the pool.
Yeah, maybe they give electricity memories, charged memories.
Do they have memories of being in the pool? I guess. Maybe.
So maybe they observed that property and then thought, hey, let's just put it inside ourselves and see what happens. And then they had memories of swimming in a pool and shooting electricity.
Yeah, that would encourage other people to try this.
I have to have those memories.
You won't believe it, it's just like being in a pool. So if you've never been swimming, but you want to remember what it's like to have been swimming in the past, this is for you.
Wait, what if you have a swimming phobia and then you take on a symbiont of an avid swimmer? Would you just be terrified all the time thinking about being that host?
That would probably get rid of your phobia to an extent, I guess.
Oh, if it overwhelms you.
Yeah, they talk a lot about how the symbiont's memories are quite strong and powerful and can kind of overwrite your brain a bit.
Yeah, it's 7 versus 1.
What if you have a symbiosis phobia? Oh, wait, hang on,
And you're
that doesn't make
selected?
any sense. Why would you join the Institute?
You're pressured by your parents. They talk about it as if it's the greatest achievement possible.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really cool. I don't know why they decided to restrict it to such ridiculous levels.
Low quantities of symbionts.
Yeah, but they say that the pass rates to the Institute are really low. So there's only like, I can't remember what they said, a few thousand joined people per year or something. So, but they have millions of symbionts. So that means the majority of them are never joined.
It's a tiny percentage, so it's difficult to understand why they care so much.
Well, the whole thing's difficult to understand because it makes no sense. Shall I get into my more specific nitpicks?
Yeah. I'll list off mine. It's a quick one. I just have one, and it's stupid. So we'll start off with that. There's a scene with Bashir and I think Cisco, I can't remember. But Bashir leans on the console, the touch console, with his hand, and nothing happens when he touches it. It just bothered me seeing that. I'm sure this has happened in other episodes, but the computer wouldn't know that you don't want to press a button. You can't just lean on it.
Yeah, we've all had mobile phones in our pockets that have just started dialing people and stuff.
Yeah, and it was right there, easy to see on the screen. But that's so minor.
I don't think it's stupid. I mean, it's just I guess, careless. It's technology that had hardly even been invented. This kind of touchscreen interface stuff. So it's unsurprising that they didn't really think, I guess.
But we've seen how the lifts can read the minds of its writers, so maybe the touchscreens can read the minds of the operators.
You think if they could read the minds, they wouldn't need the touchscreen. It would just do the right thing.
They just touch the screens for fun.
Yeah, it's a keep fit arm and finger training system. You have to keep pressing buttons in the right order.
Keep your mind sharp. It's brain training.
Okay, I wrote down that Bashir wears his uniform to a social gathering when no one else does, although Dax did turn up in uniform, although she was just from work.
Yeah, she just finished.
So I don't know why Bashir turned up in his Starfleet uniform.
He doesn't own any clothes.
He mentioned before he didn't have his dress uniform.
Yeah, he's lying because all he has is his uniform and his pajamas.
His spiffing blue pajamas. My next issue, everyone on Trill says come back tomorrow. I get told that 3, I think, times.
It could be a Trill idiom. I don't know.
Wow, you're dying. Come back tomorrow, and if you're dead, we will take the symbiont out. Honestly, everyone in the Trill homeworld seemed incredibly unhelpful, apart from the old man. Bashir opens a file from the Trill database, and it has, what's his name, Durandran's details. And it just says he was born this time, he died this time. Then he checks the compression ratio and sees it is the ratio for a file 5 times larger. This bugged me for 2 reasons. Firstly, a file 5 times larger still wouldn't have very much information in it. Maybe say a few more dates. His favorite food, favorite color.
10 lines instead of 2.
Yeah. And the other reason this bugged me is because it gets really tiring that no one can clean up after themselves on a computer. I mean, this is popular in CSI and stuff, but at least they're sort of hacker type guys, or they're supposed to be. This is kind of like they're investigating something. It's, I don't know, a doctor character trying to look at someone's computer to find out something, and they're like, check the recycle bin. Oh yes, here's all the data. That would be silly, and I don't like that they keep doing it on this show, but they have always done it on Star Trek, you know. Oh, they've tried to cover their tracks, well, let's uncover them with a hypomagnetic proton reverser. Oh, problem solved.
Well, when you're in a rush, you make mistakes.
But it's a file that's 95 years old. That's not a rush. I've had several generations to delete this file properly.
But after you do it once, you'll assume you did it correctly.
I guess. But for 95 years, for the compression ratios to still not be updated? I don't know. I don't like the way they create problems and then instantly resolve them. I feel it just sort of adds waffle.
Yeah, it's padding.
Oh, look, the file's been deleted. Well, check if it's undeletable. Yep, it is.
Computer, undelete.
Okay, done. That was close.
Good thinking.
Someone's opened the file and held down backspace. Computer, delete all the backspaces.
The backspaces have been deleted.
My last criticism, before I just descended into a rant about how Trill is a mess of confusing idiocy, was that Sisko's motives in this episode are deeply questionable.
Go on.
Okay, the Trills in the Federation, he finds out that they are embargoing the entire planet and then sells that information to save his science officer.
Yeah, that sounds like Cisco.
He sold out an entire planet.
But he got Dax back.
I know, but this is not a good trend. He doesn't seem to have any moral compass when he's trying to rescue his own crew.
No, not at all. He's fiercely loyal to them, and that's all that matters.
To the point of selling out an entire planet's political situation.
To an extreme fault, yes.
Would he start a war for one of his crew?
Yes. Absolutely.
Would he commit genocide?
Who's to say he hasn't?
Without hesitation.
The only question is, how long would the hesitation be? Not very long.
Think about it in his mind as his hand is flying down to slam the red nuke button.
He's a badly unhinged man.
He holds it together pretty well most of the time, but yes.
Oh yeah, he gives the impression of someone who has it somewhat together.
He's very loyal to his crew. I wonder if that's because his wife pegs it, and now he doesn't want to lose anyone else. Like, see, yeah, it could make sense.
Yeah, that's a good in-universe reason.
He treats his crew as his family, and he's going to be damned if he's going to lose any more of them. So he just goes completely mental when stuff happens.
There we go, we figured it out.
Yeah, but they never play it like that in the show at all. Oh, I have one other criticism.
Yes?
At the start, Dax plays a piece on the piano after saying she has absolutely no skill at music or playing the piano.
That was strange.
Yeah, that's a good way to open it. But what I found weird was that Bashir and Kira came up with the reasons: A, beginner's luck, and B, maybe you heard it as a child. What? Okay, beginner's luck at the piano. Yeah, no,
that's not a thing.
No, that does not happen.
But I liked that Bashir said that as if he's envious. That, well, I wish I could play. I'm going to insult her.
Or maybe like, yeah, beginner's luck. Maybe I'd be that good. I'm not going to try though.
I'll just assume I would be the best.
But maybe you heard it as a child. How would that mean you could play it on the piano? It wasn't just the melody. She was playing both hands.
Yeah, without any sort of difficulty. It wasn't as if she had to search for the notes. She just played them.
Yeah, as if you hear that as a child, then you can be completely proficient at playing that song on the piano.
Maybe it's a special piano and it taps into your childhood memories.
Yeah, that would not be very good. I don't think anyone would want that as an instrument.
Oh, I just thought of another criticism I have.
On you go.
How did they target those memories? How do you... I guess they would know enough about the symbiont and the brain to do that, but that was weird to me that they were able to target those memories. Maybe it's easier to see those connections because it's tied to a certain host, but I still thought it was weird.
Yeah, it makes very little sense.
And then it deteriorated? How did they not know that happens? If they're this shady, I'm going to guess they've done this before.
Well, yeah, it's ridiculous to assume anything that happens to Dex is the first time it's happened to a Trill, despite the fact that they always say that.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the first one to sign up to Institute for a second time and win a symbiont. She's the first Trill that gets into legal problems after her previous host does something.
That's annoying that they keep doing that,
Yeah,
making her...
It would have happened so many times, hundreds, thousands of times before.
Unless the Trills just popped up as a species, but obviously they haven't.
Yeah, because Dex is 300 years old.
Oh, did you know that's about 7 lifetimes?
I've heard that that's about 300 years. 8 lifetimes now. So, I'm sure we could continue picking this to bits and pieces until our isoboromine levels dropped below 40%. But instead, do you have a heartwarming quote?
If you want to know who you are, it's important to know who you've been.
When she said that to Cisco, I just imagined he would say that advice is really useless to me. 'Cause I'm not a Trill, so I've just been me.
Yeah, he doesn't understand learning from history or your past and where you're from. No, Dex, I don't have a symbiont. You don't understand.
Just me. But I think it can apply to someone who doesn't have the benefit of a bunch of annoying memories.
Yeah, you can't deny your origin.
Yeah, and reflecting upon your character and actions can help you realize when you've been a douchebag, and then you can try not to do that in the future.
It's only in examining your past that you can discover you're a rageaholic and would commit genocide. Possibly.
Maybe that was her way of indicating to Cisco your unusual behavior regarding the safety of your crew may have roots in something that happened to you a few years back, re your wife and the Borg. Except it obviously wasn't. It was just a line that was in the script. With probably no real deeper meaning other than it sounds whimsical and kind of relates to the Trill.
So I liked the idea of memories competing with one another inside of Trill, and this had a lot of potential, and it makes sense that things would be muddled, but they didn't really do much here, unfortunately. And it exposes the Trill mythology as being
Sort of shallow and confusing.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah.
Oh, can I just add that scene at the end? She gets into the milk. and hugs Joanne Duran,
Yeah.
and then everything's better. Was that not really anticlimactic?
Yeah.
Because it was for me. And then she has to deal with the fact that she has a murderer in her mind. Yet she's murdered tons of people anyway, so I'm sure she's fine with it.
Yeah, it's not the first murderer attached to that symbiont.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she'll be fine by the next time she shows up. So, yeah, they should really have isolated the peril to this episode and resolved it properly rather than leaving it hanging, because I bet it's not going to be addressed very much in the future. And I know I would win that bet. Well, you can't live 300 years without making a mess here and there.
Yeah, if you want to make an omelet, you got to kill some eggs.
Talking about killing eggs, maybe we should kill this edition of the podcast. By which I mean end it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Bye.